Hi everybody, welcome to another Roland Zenbeats tutorial. Today is time to review the loop builder view inside Zenbeats. So I just launched Zenbeats. Let's click on the new song and let's click the X to close the drum pattern editor, which is the default when you create a new song. So here we are on the loop builder view. And if you follow the previous videos or tutorials, you know that you can click here and go to a timeline view. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we'll keep to the loop builder view. As you can see, there are vertical lines which are separating what they're called parts. So we have part A, B, C, D down to H. For each of the part, we have a little symbol here to call up a menu. And also we have a play symbol, which allows you to play all the loops in this particular part, like for example in part 8. We have a track at the moment, which is the default track for drums. And as you know, you can add additional tracks. For example, you can add an audio track. And here you can see the input from the microphone as I'm talking. We can add an instrument track from where we can actually select different plugins, all plugins, the audio units plugins, the Zenbeats plugins, and also the quarantine plugins, which we will explore in another session. Let's close this window and continue in here. You can add again another drum track, a send track, and also a track template, and also a part, which will add an additional part here beyond the H. Interesting is the track template. If you click on it, you can of course have a look at the default template, and of course you can also create and save some user templates. And you can also record particular templates for drums, guitars, instruments, vocals, etc. And this is quite handy. So for guitar, for example, let's include the phase 8 template, and here you can see that it has created a track based on specific settings. So if you expand here on with the arrow to the right, you can see that there are some default plugins which have been applied to the particular track. So track template is a very powerful functionality. So let's continue to explore the loop builder view. So let's focus on a drum. So let's call the drum track here. Let's call the on-screen instrument. And here you see a button inside the loop for recording, and also a button for playing. Let's click recording, and I will record a simple kick. Okay, I click stop, and I recorded very quickly a loop, a drum loop. If I double click on it, I go inside the drum pattern editor. Here you can see 4 kicks, and this is the measure. So let's come out from there. Let's click on part B to create another loop. Let's click record and create a different loop. As you can see, you can overdub or over-record your playing. Let's create another loop inside part C. Here we are. Let's click record. Of course, if I click just on the record button, it will keep playing but not recording. And let's click stop. Okay, Let's add an instrument track. For the purposes of this tutorial, let's select, for example, electro synth, and let's click on the plus sign. I'm going through the settings for each of these plugins in different tutorials. So for now, let's click on the X. And let's click on part A, and let's to create another loop for electro synth. As you can see, we have a different on-screen instrument, and let's record something. Okay, here we have recorded a simple loop. Let's double click on it. As you can see, let's add a few more notes. Let's click on paint. As you can see, at the moment, only the loop for the electro synth is playing, and you can click on play again to listen to it. So you can click to play individual loops, or you can click on here under part A play to play both loop for part A. Okay, so let's explore further. So let's click on this loop for the electro synth track. Let's click and hold, or touch and hold, to reveal the name. We can change the name, we can cut and copy. Okay, we can export it to as a MIDI file, or you can delete it. Let's say we click copy, and let's go to another to part B, and let's click and pay and hold and select paste. In this way we have duplicated that pattern. Of course, I can decide to move that, so click on hold and move, and I can move it to part C. Something to remember or to explore is the different type of functionality you can use for the cursor. So let's click on the pointer for the cursor, and here it reveals that you can select, delete, cut, copy and paste loops within this view. Now let's move to add the menu for each of the parts. So let's explore that. As I explore that, it gives the option to add a new part. So if I click on that, there will be a new part called I, which has been added. Okay, let's undo that operation. Other functionality, you can rename the part, you can change the color, you can select it to part follow, so that when it will play, it will you can decide how many counts that part will be played before it moves to the next one. You can duplicate it, so let me show you that. Okay, it has duplicated it now. And you can, of course, cut, copy and delete. Now, let's explore a little bit what we mean by part follow. So, which is also, you can find it here on the top taskbar. So if we click that to enable, you can see that the symbols have appeared here and the different parts. So let's click play from here and see what happens. So as you can see, it's playing only this one. So let's go to part A. It says part follow, loop count 1. Let's click to part B, the same. And let's click to part C, the same. So let's focus on part A. as you can see, it's moving the playing from part A to part B to part C, and then it starts again. Okay, and of course you can configure this. So for example, let's click on the menu. Let's say I want to play this twice, and let's say that I want to play these part 3 times. So we'll go back to part A and let's click play. Okay, as you can see, a different way to actually approach the creation of your songs. And of course, you can decide to play different loops, different parts, to chain them together with the part follows. And of course, you can record as the different parts are played containing your different loops. So it's a different way from a timeline, but very interesting one. Something to remember as you move from the loop builder view to the timeline view. As you can see, the loops are not shared. What is shared is the tracks. As you can see, they are still here, but not the loops, and the same vice versa. In terms of sharing the different views, the loop builder timeline shares things like taskbar, although there are changes which are applied. The on-screen instrument, those are shared, and also some of the settings. If you click this right arrow to reveal the settings, you go back to see the different settings for the different tracks, as it was the case if you are in the timeline view. You see the same settings. Okay, I hope you found this interesting. I'll see you at the next tutorial. Bye.